Welcome back to the Save It for Parts channel, where I have no idea what I'm doing with this video. I started this to film this dingus, which is some sort of gigantic security camera. I actually got this at scrap price from the University of Minnesota reuse program. That's their surplus warehouse for all the U of M stuff that just gets otherwise thrown out. This was in a scrap bin, presumably because it doesn't work. But, you know, it's cool pan-tilt robot droid thing here, and even if the camera itself doesn't work, I figured there might be some useful parts in here. So this is my first look at it. I have no idea if it works. If it does, maybe I'll use it as a camera and the video will go that direction. If it doesn't, maybe I'll reuse the motors as something else. The video will go in another direction. It also came with this ceiling mount with a wacky connector, which has power, Ethernet, and some other junk on the back here. So this thing is branded Wisenet, and appears to be made by Hanwha something co. The label here is pretty scuffed up, but it's a network camera model XNP-6550RH, and this thing is super big and heavy, and it's meant to mount on the ceiling. I like that it even has this little safety strap here, so you can clip it to a ceiling beam or something. That way, if the mount comes loose, this doesn't just plummet to the floor and kill some poor student. Now, I'm considering just going to town on any exposed screws here, opening it up, seeing what's in it, but I guess we could actually power it up first, or at least attempt to. Give it, I assume that it'll take power over Ethernet on this RJ45 port. And we've run into the first problem with that idea. This connector looks like it will match this connector. However, these guys are just ever so slightly narrower than these two, so they will not actually mesh together. It's the exact same obscure connector, probably from the same company. They had to make it just a little bit different. I really hate companies like this. Not only did they pull their own connector out of their ass instead of using some standardized thing, but they made it so one model wouldn't fit another model. So you have to buy a separate bracket for each camera. This is made to be e-waste. If I ever become the purchasing manager for a company, I will never purchase proprietary garbage like this. Since we can't actually try to use this as a camera, at least not right away, we might as well just start pulling all the screws out and see what happens. I think it actually looks cooler without that cowling on it. This thing really does look like a robot's head. There's actually a micro SD card slot back here. I wonder if there happens to be a card in there. Oh hey, there's not one but two SD cards in here. They're both 128 gig. I'm kind of surprised IT security didn't pull that out. Oh yeah, there's stuff on here. Looks like multiple days worth. AVI. Yeah, there's video on this thing. Oh, that's kind of cool. It's even a time lapse, so we've probably got quite a bit of time here. Let's see, it looks like it's peering towards the U of M campus from the west bank of the river. So this would be the 35W bridge. This would be 10th Avenue. And then this back bridge would be the old railroad bridge, the pedestrian bridge between East and West Bank campus. So it's looking at the U of M campus here from approximately this area. So probably, yeah, it's probably right in here somewhere at the West Bank office building. Let's see, West Bank office building. We'll do street view right here on the freeway. And yeah, I think that's it. I think that is my camera right there. That's kind of fun. We're going to continue our robot dissection here. On the base here, we've got what looks like a power supply unit. There's actually a little heater and a fan, so this thing can run in all weather. And then our top is mostly stepper motors, gearing, and of course the lens assembly here. I'm still extremely upset that these two connectors don't go together. They are so close, but they're both soldered onto these circuit boards, so there's no way to even really pull the connectors off and make them fit. Hey, maybe this is great technology. Maybe the camera in here is fantastic, but just based on the connector alone, I would say these guys are out to just rip you off. Everything else about this fits just fine. The bracket the connector was in, that slots onto the camera body just fine. All the screw holes match up. It's just there is absolutely no reasonable reason for these not to match. Now on the plus side, whoever made this board did a really good job of labeling each and every wire connection. So if we wanted to hack into this, we know which ones are Ethernet, we know which ones are power, we know which ones are status indicator lights. So we could potentially eliminate this bottom unit and just control the top part of the camera directly from something like a Raspberry Pi. I'm also a little impressed with the robot head here. It's entirely supported on the one side here. The other side is just kind of a spacer. There's quite a bit of waterproofing that went into the mechanisms on this. Alright, we've got our robot's face off. Big old integrated gasket here not only goes around that clamshell, but also around the rotating part. So we've got another stepper motor. We've got the camera and recording board here with those SD card slots. We have our actual camera sensor, that lens assembly, and then these big beefy, I assume infrared diodes for night vision. There is another fan here with a duct going over to the lens, so that will help keep this from fogging up. This is an interesting way to handle a rotating ribbon cable. It's just kind of coiled up in here and then jammed through the hub. It does have a limit for how far it will rotate, so it kind of coils and uncoils itself. You have that illuminator subassembly. That is actually pretty cool. I wonder if I could give this power and make a giant flashlight. It's got these little baby cooling fans to keep the LEDs from overheating. It's got quite a smart connector back here, so I don't know if I could just give it power and expect it to turn on, or if it's going to need some kind of additional control circuitry, but that's really neat. I'm not going to throw that away. And I'm not really sure what I'm going to do with the camera assembly. It's not super useful without the actual connectors. I could try to hack into these ribbon cables. I could try to hack into some of the other adapters and maybe get some video out of this, but I don't really know if it's worthwhile. It might be 2 megapixel, it might be HD, but I don't think it's going to be much more than that, so I don't really know if it's worth all the time and effort to do much with this. This is the main thing that I am interested in. This is the pan tilt unit, so we have rotation, we have elevation, both with stepper motors, and these are just probably pretty standard stepper motors. This one still has the control board. I might pull that off, but this piece here I could make into anything. I could probably make this into an antenna rotor, and I bet this will provide a decent amount of torque. This might be able to aim, if not a small satellite dish, then maybe something like a helicone or something like a Yagi, a 70 centimeter antenna. I think we can do something cool with this guy. I'm going to consider keeping the base here, if nothing else, just as a base for that pan tilt unit. And if I did do a Raspberry Pi, we could stick it down in here and potentially it would still be waterproof, which is kind of a nice idea. So I'm just going to take out all this power supply nonsense. Even now, I keep thinking maybe there's some way these connectors actually do go together. Maybe if I twist this or tilt it or mess around with it enough, these will fit. But no, they are just slightly off. I can start to plug one in, but the other does not line up at all. This is still bugging me through this entire video. Anyway, there's definitely some useful stuff on here. I am not much of a component reuse guy, so I don't really know what to do with capacitors and transformers and stuff. I'll still probably hoard them, and then I'll definitely hoard some stuff like the little heater and the fan. These are pretty cool. I might be able to use some of this stuff on some other outdoor enclosures, and if I use this for a Raspberry Pi outside, it might be nice to have a heater in there. So this has become a real old school Save It for Parts video. This is what Save It for Parts is all about. You take something that was literally in the scrap bin at the recycling place, buy it, bring it home, tear it all down to its component pieces, see which of those components are useful, which things are maybe not useful right away, but could be useful in the future, like our little fan and our little heater. And then we've got a couple pieces here that I might find a use for more immediately. This is the type of thing that I've been making antenna trackers out of recently to track satellites. I think this is going to be kind of handy. So this is the part that will probably most likely see use soon. The rest of this stuff, maybe it'll show up in a future video, maybe not. I've got tons and tons of junk drawers full of stuff like this that has been broken down, partly to just see what's in it, and then partly to save space, because if we do end up keeping just components of this, it takes up much less space than the original device did. So I think we're going to end this video here. Let's look at a time lapse of footage that this thing recorded before it was pulled out of service. So as far as I know, I'm okay to use that footage. They sold me the camera, they sold me the SD cards, so enjoy that in a few seconds here. And in the meantime, thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time. I feel like I've murdered some kind of robot for this video.